What's going on? It's Ryan from MoneyMake Marketing, and today I'll be walking through the best LinkedIn outreach strategy in 2026 for business development teams. So if you're on a business development team, or maybe you own one, maybe you're the owner, the founder, the CEO, president, principal, this is also for you because it's going to make your business development team way more effective, way more potent, and actually push them up into a more high leverage position. Stay tuned if you're either of those things. This specifically works extremely well for manufacturers. Our agency, I'm Ryne Ogren, I'm the founder of MoneyMake Marketing. We primarily have manufacturing clients, so medical device manufacturers, industrial manufacturers, even retail manufacturers. We've been able to use this strategy for each one of them, like power generation equipment manufacturers, big companies, to actually close deals. So in 2025, we actually collected on behalf of our clients $3.55 million using this strategy that I'm about to walk you through. And usually when you just have one like little marketer in there, that's pretty significant, right? All of our clients are profitable on the campaigns that we actually launched for them. There's two right now that are not, but they already closed deals. And those accounts, when they mature, they will be extremely profitable. Without further ado, let's get into the video. I'll actually walk you guys through the strategy step by step on the LinkedIn outreach, okay? So let's do it. I have my notepad here. Let me do this. Okay. LinkedIn outreach strategy 2026. Okay. Boom. Let's get into it. All right. So essentially, there's the campaign, one LinkedIn outreach campaign. It breaks apart into two parts. Okay. So one campaign, it goes into two parts. So you have your connection requests and InMails. I'll do premium InMails. And then you have your open InMails. Okay. So I think you guys need to understand the outreach limits, and I'll explain why we do it this way. So the very first thing, the connection request outreach limit is 200 per week when you have a warmed up, 200 per week. You probably, if you're watching this, it's probably 100. For us, it's 200. Why? Because we're awesome. And so premium is 150 per month. So you really got to use those premium emails sparingly. I'll explain how we use those in a second. And then open emails, you get 200 plus or minus per week, but the catch is they have to have an open profile. Okay, so now because you know these things, this is how you have to operate the campaign. Remember, a lot of our clients are manufacturers, so like they are constantly playing with bottlenecks and trying to make sure that those bottlenecks are as efficient as possible so that it doesn't ruin the whole system. Same thing goes here, right? We all know LinkedIn has outreach limits. So how do you design a campaign that minimizes the effect of those outreach limits and maximizes the efficiency of the campaign? So essentially what we do, this is very interesting, and I'll go through the actual strategy, but also the setup here in a second, okay? So on this side, this is your extremely qualified list. This means like your job titles, the companies, maybe even handpicked. Like maybe you go through and you handpick these accounts. What I like to do first, when you're list building, we have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator list building video if you want to check that out. But what I'll actually do here, if I'm prospecting, I'll go to the account list in Sales Navigator. And if you just hover over the company descriptions when they're listing out, you can actually read those company descriptions. We also have a tool where we actually will go through and have AI do it. And we tell them what exactly we're looking for, and it builds a full list for us in Sales Navigator. And then we can just use that list. You go over to the lead list, and then you can just import that account list. And then it's just the leads from those companies on LinkedIn. That's how we actually will do a lot of this for the extremely qualified list. You hand pick them, you make it extremely qualified, okay? The reason we want to do this, you only get so many connection requests per week, and then these premium emails, you only get 150 per month. So you really need to get in front of the right people. Now, premium email automatically lands, it automatically notifies via email that they signed up with on LinkedIn. Okay, so if I send you a premium email, whatever email you signed up to LinkedIn with, you'll get an actual email that 100% lands in your inbox. So I know if I send a premium email out, you're going to see it. Okay, so that's the beautiful thing there. But you need to use these sparingly. You need to use these so sparingly. And honestly, like we actually have really bad response rates with premium emails. We have way better chance with connection requests. So here's the thing. For the extremely qualified list, like even if you have to hand pick it, because you only get 200 connection requests per week. And we recommend you leave those connection requests out there for about 3 weeks so that you always have right around 600 connection requests in your queue, like constantly. So if you send out 200, now you have 600 in there. So to send out another 200, you remove 200 from the first week for the fourth week. So now people only have 3 weeks to respond to your connection requests. We think that's usually a good amount of time. Usually people that have LinkedIn accounts, they'll be on LinkedIn. If they're somewhat active, they will check LinkedIn relatively one time within 3 weeks. So we think that works. But if you just constantly send out a bunch of connection requests, I think when you get to 2,000, LinkedIn limits it. So you have to constantly be removing and approving. So leave 600 connection requests in pending and then remove the rest. Okay, that's what we found works the best. It gives them 3 weeks to do anything with it. Okay, so now you have your extremely qualified list. If we send a connection request to somebody, now we want them to accept it. And when they're extremely qualified and they accept it, they're now going to be seeing all your LinkedIn posts. Wink. I'll show you how we do that in a second. But we can also message them one time per or whenever, as many times as we want after they connect with us. So now it's like almost like you're building your email list. So then once a quarter, once a month, once a week, you now have an extremely qualified connection database of all your qualified leads. And it's super, super easy to stay on top of everything that you need to stay on top of to just communicate with them. It's like almost emailing your email list, like an old school marketing strategy. You guys want to run a promotion that month. You can just say, hey, we're running a promotion. You guys want to check in after they did a product launch. Boom. You guys want to check in after, like, you guys won an award, whatever. Boom. You can just let them know. So this is like this building these connections. It's actually an internal company asset. So whoever's profile you use for this, if you're an owner, a founder, CEO, you want to be careful that they just don't leave, because then you're really screwed. We have a lot of clients and accounts that they actually want us to do it on the founder, the CEO account. That way they always have it and they're not worried about themselves leaving pretty much ever. So this is really important to have, really important to know, because these connection requests, they play into the strategy here in a second, okay? Premium InMails, like I said, we use them sparingly. So I'll talk about how we use this in the strategy section here in a second. But that's essentially the setup on that side. Handpick it, AI it, but the very most important part of this is make sure the companies are qualified and then go through and then make sure the job titles are qualified. Make sure that's pretty much the essential workflow. So to do that, just do account list to lead list job titles. So company description. Use the company description in the account list to make sure the companies are qualified. And then on the lead list, just make sure you import those job titles, like the ones that are actually be qualified on the decision makers there, okay? So that's that. And then that pretty much tells you how to build the premium InMails. And I'll go through the strategy in a second. Once again, I promise. On the open InMail side, what we do first, number one, is we'll actually use these job titles and we'll scrape for open profiles only. So this is something that I don't know if there's any other agency out there that has spent the amount of time that we have spent on LinkedIn or has the actual tools that can do this. So essentially what we can do is we can go through your targeted outreach list. And because we get 200 plus or minus open InMails per week, an open InMail, it's an open LinkedIn account, meaning the prospect, the person whose LinkedIn account we're reaching out to, set it open. So they're fine with you just messaging them without a connection request. This is so important because you can send 200 per week. It just doubles your connection requests, okay? Now, we don't want to waste a connection request on somebody that has an open profile because we can just message them for free. We don't want to have to actually connect with them. So what we actually do is we'll exclude anybody. We'll scrape qualified job title list with a qualified account, qualified job titles from those accounts, like the A1 of the list. Scrape it for open profiles only, then we'll exclude it from this connection request. So we don't want to waste a connection on somebody that has an open profile because we can already message them unlimited amounts of times. So scrape for open profiles only for qualified list. And now these open profiles, they reset. It's with the outreach limits. It's with the connection request limits. So these two are tied together, but they don't count for each other. So what we do, they reset, I think it's Monday morning at 3 a.m. Eastern time. So it's midnight PST. That's when we figured out that it resets. It could be a little different for you, but that's for all of our accounts. So when it resets, you get another 200. So what I like to do and what we do is actually on Friday, we make sure that you have 200, all of our accounts have 200 InMails in the queue and also 200 connection requests in the queue for that entire week. That makes sure there's like total maximum efficiency for everything. And I'll go through our strategy here in a second, I promise. So then what we'll do, because you're only gonna have like limited amounts of open InMails per account that are actually qualified job titles. What we'll then do for the qualified companies, we will now remove all the job titles. So we'll actually scrape all the open profiles at qualified companies. So this could be like if like you're actually trying to go and solicit procurement. This could actually be like the HR lady. And I'll get to what our strategy is here in a second, but we'll scrape all those open profiles and put them in the queue. Now, if you don't do this second part, I know you're thinking like, why would we actually reach out to people that aren't qualified, especially like their job titles? I'll explain here in a second what the strategy is because it works really well. If you don't do this, you're gonna run out of open InMails very fast. If you only have qualified job titles and you're scraping those, you're gonna run out of open InMails like probably within a week or two, realistically. And then you're not gonna be using them. And it's a very valuable and lucrative strategy to actually use them. So let me go through this here in a second. So now you scrape all open profiles at qualified companies, but they're not the qualified job titles. So not qualified job titles. Okay, so we go with the one first, the qualified, okay? Then we go qualified, not qualified. Then we add those to your open emails, like on Friday. So when it resets, we are good to go. We get more outreach on LinkedIn. Okay, so now let's go through the actual strategy and how we use each of these lists and each of these strategies. Okay, so on this side, let me just pull this down so it just is a good visual. So we have our open InMail, just for those if you're just tuning in, open InMail strategy, and then we have our connection requests and premium InMail strategy. Okay, so let's go through all of this. So connection requests, we have and premium InMails. It's qualified company, qualified decision maker. So what we'll actually do here is we'll outreach with a lead magnet. So we'll do outreach, lead magnet. Usually it's a video pitch. We've done for one of our other clients. It's a little bit more of a different sales process. We actually didn't do a video pitch. Video pitches are working so right now. In the video pitch, I can do a video on this. You just want to have personalization. So they click on and watch the video. You want to have social proof of their dream outcome to get them interested in the video. And then you want to have a problem expo section. So you actually literally go through what they're currently doing. So I'll just do this, what they are currently doing. So you expose the problem of that, and then you actually go through your pitch, which solves that. And then you go through a urgency, and then you use CTA. That's the format. So essentially, like one of our videos, for instance, we'll do personalization. So we'll start off on their LinkedIn profile. Hey, what's going on? You actually been going back and forth with our CEO, so we just wanted to shoot you a video. That's what gets them to click, because the thumbnail will show their LinkedIn background. So they'll actually click on the video, but they're not interested yet. They're not going to give you their full 5 minutes. It's usually a 5-minute pitch, by the way, 5 minute. Okay. So then we'll do some social proof. For us, just going through, hey, we booked a call and closed a deal with X, and we actually name the company in the actual video that we closed the deal with. We're not going to say it here, but we'll say that to these companies, and they'll be like, holy shit, we want that company. So we'll use a tailored case study to them specifically. That works really well, because now it gets them like, oh my God, this is exactly what we want, because they want to close a deal with those companies, right? So that works really well. But if you think about that prospect's dream outcome, like what they actually want, and then go through figure out a way to spin something, a result that you can actually get for them, or social proof that they actually care about in that video. We did this for one of our clients, and it was, hey, we worked with major brands all across the world, and we actually saved one of them $300,000 on X. And you show the actual proof. And X isn't the platform. X is, we inserted the actual word, the actual service, and the actual products. So that's a really good way to do it. Social proof. So personalization gets them to click on the video. Social proof of their dream outcome, proving that this video is very valuable to them, gets them interested and gets them ready to watch the entire thing. Okay, so that's the useful part of this. Then when you expose the problem, you do some research. Very easy to do some research on what they're currently using. For us, we use AI to do a lot of the deep research, but if I go through and I then show, hey, I know what your business development team is currently, how it's currently set up. I just go on LinkedIn and I'll look at who's on your business development team. It says, oh, it looks like you have 3 or 4 reps. The problem with that is, so I start with the problem exposed, and then I label the problem. Problem with that is your business development reps are actually doing 2 jobs in one. If they're doing two jobs, they can't be good at either of them. The 2 jobs, they're doing prospecting and then sales. And so the reason that you're not able to actually open more accounts is because they're focusing on closing deals, and that's how they get paid. They're not spending as much time prospecting. They also don't have all the new tips and strategies that marketers would have. So that's usually the, when you build a problem, you want to start off with what they're currently doing, show that you know what they're currently doing, then build the problem off after that. Okay, that's so important. This is sauce. You will see if you build a video and it hits all these points spot on, you can actually take this video, transcribe it, throw it into your AI, and then it'll just do it for you, okay? But if you hit all these points properly, you'll see it works so freaking well. Then once you expose the problem, you go into your pitch and you say, because of that, what we actually do is we solve that problem, okay? So because you're doing this and you do Y, we actually will come in and we will do this so your team can do Y. And because of that, you can actually, and then you go through your entire pitch. So by starting off like that and creating that pitch, you create a gap, and that gap is what gets the call. So it gets them to take the conversion mechanism, moves them from inaction to action. Okay, so the problem, what they're doing now, and then adding a problem to that, and then pitching them something that solves that problem. As long as it's logical and can invoke some emotion, they will book that meeting with you. Exploratory meeting. You prove that it's worth them to speak with you. I just sent 5 of these videos out for our own agency. And I just nailed each part of it. Each part of this was so dialed in. We booked all 5 meetings. So it's not like it's a numbers game. Maybe sometimes it is, but if they watch the video and it's a good video pitch, like, you will make money, or you will book a call, okay? And then if you book enough calls, you'll make money, right? Then you go through the urgency part. So for us, we'll always say, hey, once you had a chance to watch this, we just want to walk you through what our capabilities are. That way, if there is a way that we could possibly help you, we can do it now. We are taking on new clients, but we probably won't after the end of this month, just based off the fact that I'm the one that does the fulfillment, and we usually are doing revenue splits. The more time we focus with an account, usually the more money we make. We don't always onboard new accounts, but we have to for our revenue goals that we're trying to hit this year. So that urgency is like real. So a real and believable reason why they need to do it now. Okay, that's essentially what it is. Real and believable reason why they need to do it now. That's important. And a call to action. So if this sounds like directionally correct, there might have been some things that I can adjust in this video. Whatever your call to action is. Usually it's like, hey, let's book a call. For some of our manufacturers, we'll actually do a capabilities call. So we say, hey, if this sounds interesting enough, what we do recommend is that we do an intro and a capabilities call. On that capabilities call, essentially what we're doing is we're just walking you through what we can do for you. So that you and your team know when you're going through and operating. So when something comes up and you need from us, you already know who to go to. But if you don't, then you're going to have to scramble through all your old vendors and wait for them to say, hey, can you guys do this? And then they'll say no. Then you got to go scramble through new vendors. And that's when you would come to us. And then at that point in time, everything's rushed. So a capabilities call just makes you and your team a little bit better and a little bit more aware of what you can do, what you can't do, and what to send to us, what to not send to us, right? And so that's all we want to do. And that usually will get them booked. It's like very low pressure, low sales, so low sales tactic. After you did all that research, it lands like very well. So send that lead magnet via LinkedIn connection request, InMail, premium email, and that's pretty much it on that side. Okay, and we also will do it via email just to get more outreach out there. Okay, but that's pretty much the main strategy. That's what's getting calls booked. And now we've actually done a video on that. I can go through and do a more in-depth video on the actual lead magnet, the video pitch. Some of the companies we've closed for our clients, they love us for it. They were extremely hard to reach accounts, maybe accounts that they didn't even think of, but they didn't even think that they could land them. And then once we did enough research and made this pitch so dialed in, they did. So it works really well. And then from the open InMail strategy. So that's the point I want to bring through this video. So now number 1, so you remember number 1 is the scrape for the qualified company, qualified job title list. Qualified company and qualified job title list. So that goes to this strategy. Okay, that this qualified open InMail, we'll use the same messaging in the outreach. Okay. There's no reason not to do that, okay? They're qualified, they're a decision maker, they are qualified at a company. Let's just use the same strategy for them. Now, number 2, okay? So number 2 is the open profiles, not qualified job titles. These are qualified company and not qualified job titles, okay? So now, if we reach out and we message them if we use the same outreach that we did for qualified company, qualified job title, with the qualified company, not qualified job title, they're going to be like, no, you're talking to the wrong person, Luke. So we need to change our messaging. So what we actually will send, so we'll do outreach message number 2. And what we actually will say is, hey, I might be mistaken, but I was curious if you could show me who at your company handles, and then you insert that. The reason we do this, and sometimes they don't respond, sometimes they do. The reason we do this is because 1, we tailor it specifically, and we're just asking them a question. But what we're asking them for is if they know the decision maker for this. Sometimes it's different than the job title, okay? Sometimes the right person, the decision maker, might be a completely different job title, right? And you're not actually messaging the right person just based off the job title. Sometimes that does happen. But when we ask them internally, we get into the organization and we have them say, oh, if they do respond, if they don't respond, whatever. We have the open InMails anyway. We can't use the open InMails on anything else anymore because we already used them on the qualified ones. So now it's just like we have these free things, these open InMails, these outreach limits. We don't have anywhere to use them on. So let's use them on qualified companies, not qualified profiles. So anybody at the actual company that is I just remove all job titles. I actually exclude, in Sales Navigator, I exclude our qualified job title list. So I just take them out. Everybody else at the company is fair game. Everybody else. And sometimes you can, if it's like a really big company, you can use the function keywords where you can just pick a department. That gives it like a broad kind of stretch, a broad kind of categorization. But essentially we want like a ton of unqualified job titles, but at qualified companies. And all we're saying is like, hey, do you know who hey, maybe you can help me here. I don't know who the actual decision maker is that handles this at your company. And then sometimes if you're not getting good results with that message, you can add in some value. Say, we have some draft designs that we want to send over, or we have whatever's in your lead magnet that we want to send over. We just want to make sure it gets to the right person. And usually they will, because it's very tailored to them. So sometimes you might have to adjust this message, but you'll figure it out. It's not that hard to get this rocking. So then they respond, They either respond, I don't know who you should reach out to. Maybe they don't respond. Maybe they say no or no thanks, or they give you a name. They respond and give you a name. Now, that's when we literally will go to our premium InMails. So I'll take our premium InMails and we just use them for this. So they give you a specific name. We do a manual premium InMail to them at that instance, the name, whoever the name they gave us. And then we get to say, hey, so we get to use their name right here. We connected with, and then you mention this person's name that responded at your company. You can do your company. You can put the company name in there. And they said to send you this. And then you just say, we got some draft designs, whatever, X, Y, and Z. And when we do that, now we have a warm referral from within their company that gave us the correct contact info. And we know it's the correct contact info. Don't be so wrapped up with the job titles on this one. Literally, just go with it. Just go with it, because they probably know something that you don't. And when they say, hey, you need to send this to them, boom, go ahead and just InMail them. And then if you say, I like to actually, as soon as after we InMail them, I say, great, do you have an email for them that we could use? And can we CC you on it? That's a stretch sometimes, but do you have their email by chance? And then they're like, no. It's like, great, no worries. Okay, I like to shoot this shot, but we premium email before that. So that's the entire strategy in a nutshell. You will now, so then every Friday, just like maintenance, every Friday after like end of business, like before I go to dinner with my girl, I actually will go through all of our client accounts and we just make sure you have 200 connect requests for the week in the queue, and 200 open in the queue. If you do that on Friday, then come Monday when it resets, they just go. And so then you have a 100% optimized system where open emails are always going out and you're getting warm referrals. That strategy works really well. And then you use your premium emails on that side. Also, if you get a connection request that says, hey, you need to send it to them, use your premium email there. And then once you do that, use the lead magnet strategy to open those accounts. That's like fantastic way to do it. Works extremely well. And once again, that entire strategy right there closed in our client's bank account. 3.55 million collected in client's bank account in 2025. So let me just draw an arrow to complete it. Boom. Okay. So that's the whole strategy. So if you're a business development rep and you're trying to figure out how to master LinkedIn outreach, we figured it out. There you go. If you need help with list building, you need help with anything else, if you need help with your lead magnets, if you want to see what it looks like, how we would handle it, if you want to see how we would do it, go to our website, apply to work with us. And no promises that we'll even get on a call with you. Maybe send us a lead magnet. Maybe we will. But if we have bandwidth at this stage, whenever you're watching this video, we will, if you're a good fit, then reach out to get something scheduled. But once again, we're a small agency and we go really deep with our clients. Like we like to get to a revenue split. That means we can focus on just making them a ton of money. And when they make a ton of money, we make a little bit of it. Simple, right? Seems fair. I'm Ryne Ogren. This is MoneyMake Marketing, and welcome. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you got value in this video. I know it's a little bit longer, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any ideas for future videos, comment that below as well. And without further ado, I am out. See ya.